let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about a massive shift that's happening just behind the scenes, inside the giant cargo hubs that keep our world moving. We're calling it lights out logistics.
Just think about that for a second. The next time you click Buy Now, the journey that package takes might be almost completely handled by a perfectly coordinated army of machines. This isn't some far-off fantasy. It's already starting to happen. And here's the thing. The tipping point is way closer than you probably think. The year 2027 is the date that a lot of people in the industry are pointing to. It's when these incredible new projects are set to go live, and it's going to fundamentally change how everything gets from point A to point B. That's right, this isn't a movie plot. It's a real global infrastructure overhaul. And in this explainer, we're going to take you on an exclusive tour inside the automated cargo hub of the very near future. So you might be asking, what's pushing this massive change? Why now? Well, the industry is calling it the Great Logistics Resets because the old way of doing things, it's just not cutting it anymore. It really boils down to this perfect storm, a trifecta of pressures hitting all at once. First, there just aren't enough people who want to do these incredibly tough physical jobs. Second, the amount of stuff we all buy online has just exploded, and it's completely overwhelming the old systems. And third, there's huge pressure to go green and slash that massive carbon footprint. When you put it all together, there's really only one way forward: smart automation. Okay, so let's see what this actually looks like on the ground. Our first stop is the airport itself, which in some places is being totally reimagined from scratch. And this is a global movement. Over in the US, you've got the new Airglades Airport in Florida, which is being built from the ground up to be a fully automated hub. Then, on the other side of the planet, Macau's Hengqin terminal is using this really clever front terminal, rear airport design to get around the problem of not having enough land to expand. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it shows the two very different paths people are taking. Building a brand new greenfield airport is one thing. You can design it for robots from day one. But trying to upgrade a huge, old, and incredibly busy brownfield airport like JFK or Heathrow, that is a whole different ballgame. Someone in the industry compared it to changing the engine of a car while you're still hurtling down the highway. All right, let's step through the doors of one of these new places. I want you to forget the sounds you'd normally associate with a warehouse. You know, the loud beeping of forklifts, people shouting. Instead, just picture the quiet, efficient hum of electric robots gliding around. This brings us to the concept of a lights-out facility. And yeah, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a warehouse that can run in complete darkness. Why? Because the main workforce is made up of robots, and, well, robots don't need light to see where they're going. And the scale of this takeover is just staggering. UPS is already running a pilot facility where the robots outnumber the human workers 15-1. By 2027, that kind of ratio could become the new normal across the industry. So, who are the stars of this new robotic workforce? Well, you've got two main players. First are the automated storage and retrieval systems, or ASRS. Think of them as super-fast librarians for a massive vertical library of goods. Then you have the autonomous mobile robots, or AMRs. These are the flexible ground crew, zipping around the floor and smartly rerouting themselves to avoid traffic jams. So, if all those robots are the hands and feet of the operation, the digital twin is the brain. It's a perfect one-to-one virtual copy of the entire cargo hub, living and breathing in real time inside a computer. So how does this digital brain actually work its magic? Well, you can think of it as a three-step dance. First, sensors on everything capture the location of every single package. Second, all that data feeds into the virtual model, creating that perfect mirror of reality. And third, and this is the absolute game changer, an AI analyzes the simulation to predict the future, spotting a potential bottleneck 20 minutes from now, and letting a human manager fix it before it ever actually happens. And the AI has another incredible superpower. It basically plays a perfect game of 3-day Tetris with all the cargo. Cameras scan the size and shape of every box, and then a powerful algorithm figures out the absolute most efficient way to pack them onto the plane. It saves space, it saves fuel, and it cuts down on emissions. Now, the AI gets everything packed up perfectly inside, but this whole revolution doesn't just stop at the warehouse door. Let's head outside to the tarmac, because this is where the changes are going to be most visible to all of us. That whole swarm of baggage carts and dollies,
It's about to go completely driverless.
And you can see this wave building all over the world. Frankfurt is already testing out autonomous tractors. Abu Dhabi is building an entire business park around the technology. And by 2027, South Korea's Incheon Airport wants its cargo operations to be fully autonomous. These aren't just little experiments anymore. This is the official rollout. And the numbers we're talking about are just massive. Cainiao, which is the logistics company for Alibaba, has plans to deploy a fleet of over 200,000 of these unmanned vehicles. This is the tech that automates that final critical link between the warehouse and the airplane. Okay, so we've seen the hardware, we've seen the software brain, but what does all of this technology actually mean for the real world? We're talking about a huge impact on everything from our environment to the very future of work itself.
And this is a really key point. Automation and sustainability are now completely linked. When you pack planes more efficiently, you need fewer flights. The new autonomous vehicles, almost all of them are electric. And those lights-out warehouses use way less energy. So automation isn't just about going faster. It's one of the main things driving the industry's push to go green. But look, the road ahead isn't perfectly paved. There are some major hurdles to overcome. First, there's that massive challenge we talked about, upgrading old airports without shutting them down. Second, when everything is this connected, it becomes a huge new target for cyber attacks that could bring the whole supply chain to a halt. And third, and this might be the most important one, what about the people? How do we retrain millions of workers, shifting them from manual labor to new jobs supervising and maintaining this robot workforce? When you boil it all down, it really comes to this incredibly stark choice, which was summed up perfectly in one industry report. For the companies in this space, the choice is simple. Automate, or you risk being grounded for good. It's just not an option anymore. It's about survival. And that leaves all of us with one final, really important question. This automated future isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That symphony of robots is tuning up right now. The automated supply chain is on its way. The real question is, are we ready for it?